is in this part of the brain where God communicates with man. In Isaiah 1:18, the Bible says, "Come, let us reason together." You see, this is where the reasoning happens. Unfortunately, there are many things today that people are doing that are actually clouding or compromising the part where our goals are, the part where our intellect, reason and judgment is.
Did you know there is a specific part of the brain through which God directly communicates with us? This mysterious and little understood region holds the key to unlocking the secrets of the divine connection. Revolutionary studies in neuroscience reveal that brain plasticity allows for the reshaping of neural networks throughout life, paving the way for profound transformations in our patterns of thought and behavior. Our brain is the fascinating bridge between the spiritual and the rational world. It is believed that it is in this specific part of the brain where God connects with us, guiding our decisions and shaping our destiny. But how does this divine communication influence our daily choices and behavior? Modern neuroscience shows us that we can indeed reshape our brains. By forming new neural pathways, we have the power to transform our thoughts and actions. This extraordinary discovery raises intriguing questions about the role of faith and reason in our lives. Get ready for a revelation that will shake your conceptions of the relationship between spirituality and science. The limbic system, often called the emotional brain, is a fascinating and complex part of the brain. It plays a crucial role in our lives, controlling our emotions and impulses, and even influencing our decisions. But did you know that this brain region can also be a battleground between our most primitive desires and our ability to make wise decisions? Imagine a situation where you're faced with a tough choice. Your heart says one thing, but your mind says another. This is where the limbic system comes into play, sending powerful signals that can lead us to act impulsively, without thinking about the consequences. These intense emotions, such as anger, fear, or excitement, can lead us to make decisions we might later regret. However, we are not completely at the mercy of our emotional impulses. According to recent studies, there is a specific area of the brain that has the power to control and balance the limbic system. And here's the most incredible part. Many believe that it is precisely in this area that God communicates with us, guiding us towards wiser and more balanced choices. So, how can we strengthen this divine connection and allow it to influence our emotions and decisions positively? The answer lies in neuroplasticity, the ability of our brain to adapt and create new neural connections throughout life. Through spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, and the cultivation of virtues, we can encourage the growth of neural pathways that help us better manage our emotions and make decisions more aligned with our deepest values. Divine intelligence has shaped the human brain with remarkable precision, designating the prefrontal cortex or frontal lobe as the epicenter of our goals, housing intellect, reasoning, judgments, will, and decision-making capabilities, interconnected by the impulses of I will, I want, I will not, and I do not want. It is believed that in this communication that divine connection with humans occurs. Barbara O'Neill, an Australian naturopath and speaker, has developed a concept known as the 7 laws of mental health, which illustrates how it's possible to restructure brain function. These laws highlight the possibility of changing thought patterns, a notion many find encouraging. The first of these laws is the law of cause and effect. Every action has a corresponding reaction or consequence. Our behaviors and choices affect our emotional and psychological well-being. The second law described by Barbara O'Neill is the law of choice, which is fundamentally governed by the I want part of the brain, located in the prefrontal cortex, also known as the guardian of our goals. It refers to the power and autonomy individuals have in making decisions that impact their lives, being crucial for mental health and empowerment. The third is the law of the effects of words, focusing on the impact our words have on ourselves and others. It suggests how positive language can improve and support mental health, while negative language can do the opposite. The fourth law is the law of the revelation of words, which demonstrates how the words we use reflect our mental state and inner thoughts. They serve as indicators of our overall mental health and suggest an alignment between thought, language, and emotional health. The fifth law is the law of adaptation, referring to the brain's ability to change and reconfigure, a concept also known as neuroplasticity. It deals with our capacity for adaptation, effective in responding to changes or challenges. Interestingly, although this has been a long recognized principle in biblical proverbs, medicine has only validated it in the last 13 years. One such proverb is in chapter 13, verse 20, which states, "Whoever walks with the wise will become wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm." This verse highlights the influence that the environment and company have on our capacity for adaptation and intellectual development. The sixth law is the law of grow and shrink, related to the concept that our mental faculties, like any other aspect of our being, can develop or diminish over time based on our habits and behaviors. It emphasizes the importance of exercises and mental activities that promote brain health. The seventh and final law is the law of diversion, which suggests that when something is so firmly denied as to eliminate any hope, the brain has the ability to divert to other activities. This law is particularly inspiring because, as many say, sometimes God closes a door but opens a window. This law highlights the importance of diverting focus from distressing thoughts or situations to activities that promote positivity and mental growth. This idea reflects the importance of resilience and the brain's capacity to adapt and find new directions when usual or expected paths are blocked. The choices we make every day hold great power. They not only change our present, but also our future. This is because each decision we make can alter the way our brain functions. When we do something new or different, our brain creates new connections between nerve cells. These connections are like pathways that the brain uses to send messages and information. The more often we repeat an action or thought, the stronger these pathways in the brain become. It's as if we're training our brain to function in a certain way, like one that makes us happy and healthy. The same applies to spirituality. When we choose to spend time in prayer, meditation, or reading sacred texts, we are strengthening parts of the brain linked to peace, gratitude, and love. These positive feelings become more prevalent in our lives because the brain learns to access them more easily. Of course, we can also train the brain for less positive things, such as anger, fear, or sadness. If we dwell on negative thoughts or get involved in fights and arguments, our brains will get used to these patterns. Therefore, it's important to pay attention to the decisions we make, even the small ones. Each choice is a chance to train our brains to be the best version of ourselves. And when we combine the science of the brain with the wisdom of spirituality, we have incredible power to transform our destiny. The freedom of choice is a recurring theme in theology and philosophy. According to Revelation chapter 3, verse 20, God is likened to a gentleman who knocks on the door and waits for permission to enter, illustrating that God does not force his presence, but waits for an invitation. This highlights that despite global tragedies, human freedom of choice predominates, for better or for worse. God does not seek robotic obedience, but rather authentic and voluntary love, as opposed to the concept of forced love, which is denounced as a violation of individual freedom. This understanding also extends to how we relate to the divine. According to Isaiah chapter 50, verse 4, it is in the early hours of the morning that we are most receptive to hear as the wise. To capture this subtle communication, it is crucial to be rested, indicating the importance of an adequate sleep routine. Therefore, cultivating a relationship with the divine, like with any person, requires dedication, listening, and time to share experiences and insights. God has granted human beings the power of choice, and one of the most liberating decisions we can make is to forgive. Waiting to feel like forgiving may mean never achieving forgiveness. Forgiveness, therefore, becomes not just a moral action, but a strategic act for emotional and physical well-being. Research indicates that it takes 21 days to form a new habit, 21 days following a new path and avoiding the old one, which gradually becomes weaker and less visible. Science is beginning to reveal that the act of forgiving has a significant physiological effect on the brain, helping to cleanse and restore its health. Forgiveness is a choice, just like love. When we understand how the brain functions and how our choices affect it, we gain tremendous power to transform our lives. Every thought, every decision, every habit we create leaves a mark on our brain. Over time, these marks become pathways that our thoughts automatically follow. When we take care of our brain and train it appropriately, we open the doors to this divine connection. In the 1960s, Paul MacLean introduced a revolutionary hypothesis that would change the way we understand our own psyche. He proposed that the key to understanding our most complex behaviors might lie not in one, but in 3 brains.